Welcome, welcome, welcome to Up Accelerated Excellence, a podcast for the advancement of educational effectiveness and equity. Hosted by yours truly, Jacob Easley II, PhD, PMP. This episode was recorded as part of our Inspirational Shorts during the Education 2.0 Conference 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get into it. So we have another outstanding guest for the Up Accelerated Excellence community. My new friend, will you introduce yourself?
Yes, Jacob. Hey, great to be here. My name is Rodney Toulson. I am the owner of Restorative Consulting Services, LLC, and I am a restorative practices coach, trainer, and consultant. Good to be here with you today.
Good to meet you. Good to be here with you, spend this time with you. Where are you located? Where are you based out of?
I am based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and I have the privilege of working in 22 states over the United States in various school districts.
Oh, that's amazing. Is your work primarily face-to-face, or do you have online services as well?
Great question. We do primarily face-to-face, but we definitely have online training as well.
Okay, excellent. So I want to know a bit more about restorative consulting. Tell us what type of services would one receive if they were to engage with your organization?
Great question. Well, engaging with us, you would have restorative practices training, which involves building sustainable restorative communities. And a restorative community is one where people are proactive in building their relationships. They have accountability, but they also have a high level of support, and they have safety. And so we know that there are things that will happen where you have to have accountability mechanisms, but through having positive relationships, it makes those mechanisms easier to accept and easier for everybody to get past. So.
Right. Are you working primarily, or do you work primarily with adults in the schools, or students and children as well?
Well, usually restorative practice should start with adults because it should start with the adult staff being restorative with each other, and then seeing how that trickles down to children and being restorative with children. And the goal would be to expand to the community, which stakeholders, which would be parents and outside organizations, so that everybody feels like a part of that community. Nobody's marginalized or feel less than.
So you said you work in 23 different states, correct?
22, yes.
22 different states. I just added one more.
Okay,
for you.
thank you.
So it's coming. What would you say has been one of your greatest successes working in restorative practices?
One of the greatest successes working in Kentwood, Michigan.
Okay.
We actually have been working with that school district for about 3 years now, and seeing how we started with the adults, with district leadership, and then we went to the principals, and then we went to the staff. So seeing that implementation done the right way, where by the time we got to teachers, they knew that there was already buy-in from the leaders. And so that made it easier for the implementation. And it's a success because they do continually coaching. So they're always sharpening their saw and looking for ways to get better.
Oh, that's beautiful. So that's really a systems approach.
Yes.
Excellent. So would you advocate for a systems approach in your work if someone were to work with you, or is it possible to have short, one-off sort of consulting services?
You can do short one-offs depending on what your goal is. Now, sometimes schools that can't do a system approach, they will do one-off approach, but you have to be strategic in that. Let's say you can't get your whole staff, so maybe you get leaders at each grade level.
Right.
So that way you know you are getting that restorative practice throughout the building, because it's touching everybody in every grade, and maybe a counselor and a social worker. So yes, you can do one-off, and we can plan that out.
I get it. So we're here in Las Vegas at the Education 2.0 Conference. What have been a few of your takeaways so far?
One of my greatest takeaways is that corporate leaders want restorative practices. They just call it something different. You know, whether they talk about leaders that have social emotional intelligence or social emotional awareness, it's really they want restorative leaders. Leaders who can foster great working environments, just like restorative practices, fosters a great school learning environment. So it was interesting to see how, although they call it different things, it's going down to being a restorative person. And I love the takeaways of being on 2 panels and having us have different perspectives for the panel questions. So different perspectives about leadership. Had a great discussion about the differences in generations. We had a panel where we had people from 4 different generations. And so that led us organically to discuss the challenges of being a leader when you have multiple generations on your staff. So that was a great takeaway for
That's
me.
interesting because I'm sure there are cultural differences.
Yes.
I missed that one, but I do want to say I wish I had attended that panel discussion. But I do want to congratulate you on your award you received for leadership here at the conference as well.
Thank you so much.
And if you could you share with the EdUp Accelerated Excellence community a word of wisdom or inspiration? So for organizations that are trying to advance educational effectiveness and equity, what would you say to them?
Well, first I would say, and this can be a hard conversation, those of us in color, we need to be dedicated to getting into education to make a difference. We can't make a difference if we're not there.
This is
So
true.
one of the first things we have to decide is that education is valuable enough for us to enter it. And when we enter it for the long run. Well, I've been doing restorative practices, coaching and consulting for 10 years. And so it took time to grow and time for me to learn. So, and I would say you have to get a mentor, someone that's better than you that can help you get where you need to go. And I went to a workshop, and the woman, her name was Leanne Gabriel. I like to give credit to people.
Absolutely.
She said, to be successful, you have to be 2 things, approachable and coachable. So I would say, if you want to make it here, be approachable, be coachable, get a mentor, and really, really, really be open to having an expanded mindset.
I really like those words of wisdom. So I hope that's inspirational for our community members. So there you have it. Rodney, thank you.
Jacob, thank you.